turn my alarm on my cell phone because I gotta get up early in the morning, so I always
Mm-hmm.
tend to have
Yep.
the ringer on now.
All
Well,
right.
And fucking didn't.
All right. Sweet. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to Video Game Battles. I'm kind of tall for my camera, but this is the first week of the tournament. So with us, we are featuring. Yeah, we're on. Yeah. So
Are there multiple weeks of
Don.
this?
yeah.
How do I hear myself? Oh yeah. So
That was
yeah.
I wasn't
So
told that.
we have Don, and he is our disembodied
Hey.
head thing, whatever. We
Black
have
hole.
Logan competing. Say hi, Logan.
A poor
Hello.
incorporeal entity, but being sensitive about it.
Whatever. And we also have Nick competing.
Or you know
Yeah,
me as cell processing, whatever.
yeah, cell processing. A lot of people know him. And then we have fact checking for us. We have two because of the whole clusterfuck that we were having today. We have Janet and Jesse being our fact checkers today. So basically, what's going to happen here is whoever wins this moves on in be 3 weeks, be facing the winners of the next two shows. So let's get this thing started. What character would be the best president from a video game? Nick, you can go first.
Nathan Drake.
Okay. Why?
He's likable, like Brad Pitt. Women want to be with him. Guys want to be him. And we all know about the way politics works. It's not about your actual abilities. It's about how pretty you are and how popular you are. And everybody likes Nathan Drake, and he's a cool guy, so we're gonna vote for him. And who doesn't want a president that can't be like Harrison Ford and jump off of a plane?
All right, all right. Logan, go ahead next.
I pick Regal Bryant from Tales of Symphonia. Never before has there been so much man in one spot.
All right. Anything else to add?
I reserve my arguments for later.
All right, all right. And Don, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Leon Kennedy. For one, same reasons Nick said. That hair though, man. That little swoop makes the lady swoon. Also, I feel he'd be a lot more balanced. He's used to stressful situations. Yeah, I mean, he'll rule. He'll be stern but fair, and he'll shoot a motherfucker in the head if he needs to. I think that's who we need as our president. Commander's nice, but will also end your life.
All
Personally.
right. All right, guys. Well, let's get to actually fighting. Nick, what do you have to say about yours versus everyone else's?
I don't know who this Tales of Symphonia guy is, but just because there's a lot of them doesn't mean anything. Just more space that the camera has to cover, I guess. As far as like Leon Kennedy, he kind of looks like a pouty teenager. Just like, I hate everything, so I shoot zombies. And let's be fair, he's mostly shooting monsters, not people. Nathan Drake has slain thousands of people in the name of adventure and loot. Just like little blades, or, I need to find out what this is. Let's go get some gold somewhere. He never ends up with it. Like, he'd be bad at the economy, I admit that. But, it's like, he's Nathan Drake. Nobody cares. He's pretty. Like, shit. If I wasn't straight, I'd go after him. Come on.
All right. Logan.
Well, I'll inform you a little bit on Regal Bryant. He is actually the president of his own company that he has actually dedicated to helping better the world. Now, this was, of course, before, by being, feeling guilty about what he had done, he had actually turned himself into prison a while back. So right there, you've got a man who knows his way around money, you've got a man with integrity, and you've got a man with convictions. Now, the best illustration of these convictions is the fact that he used to specialize in killing things with his hands. But he swore that he would no longer use his hands to kill people. So he then learns to kill things with his feet. For the rest of the game, he just kicks anything to death. Now, yeah, I mean, okay, Leon's a good shot. All right. whatever. Like, who cares? Like, he goes in, he makes some bad one-liners, he ends up slaughtering a bunch of Spaniards for some reason, and then he bounces out. Now, I will admit that I think he would make a fine member of Regal Bryant's Secret Service, but, like, do you really trust him to run a country? And I'm afraid I don't know anything about Nathan Drake at all to attack him properly. He's like a Nathan Fillion knockoff guy? Like, is that what he is?
Nathan Fillion wishes he was him.
Literally, there was that campaign to him to be in the movie, but yeah, neither here nor there.
All right. Anything else to add, Logan?
No,
No?
I think I'm good.
All right,
Yeah.
John, what's your rebuttal to all this?
All right, elephant in the room. In order to be president, you have to be A, a resident of the United States, and, well, you have to be born in the United States, and B, a resident of at least 14 years. Rick O'Brien, pretty sure not born in the U.S., and I'm pretty sure Nathan Drake, with all of his world traveling, hasn't been a resident of the United States for at least 14 years. 2, yeah, who cares if Leon Kennedy's a good shot? In a world where firearms are the dominant weapon, who cares? That's not, who needs to be good with a firearm in a firearm world? 2, it doesn't matter if he's a potty teenager. I mean, you look at George W. Bush, I gotta look like a fucking moron, and he was. But, looks aren't everything. I think he'd be stern but fair.
George Bush
and
was a good-looking guy in his day.
But he looked like he was a fucking idiot. He looked like rubbing two neurons together hurt him. Probably did. And he's been close to the presidency, so he knows how it works. He knows the ins and outs. He was close to a president for a very long time. He was very close counsel to him, so he has a lot of experience. And, yeah. Got a sweet jacket, no matter where he's at. Whether he's in Spain, sweet jacket. Whether he's in China or America, sweet jacket still.
It's very true, and as we learned, special edition Resident Evil 6, you get the jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Like a physical jacket?
And he can kill with bare hands, and he doesn't hesitate to. He's not like, oh, I'm going to use my feet. I mean,
Right.
don't get me wrong. I appreciate a man who kills things really well. I appreciate that. But, let's be honest here. Why limit yourself? That's it.
I call bullshit.
But the real
Go for
question.
it. What do you? Oh, Janet, go ahead if you have.
Oh,
something.
the real question is why is our president killing people himself?
It's a great
Okay,
question.
you saw Air Force
Listen,
One.
if you're going to start a war, yeah,
All
listen. It's a
ahead.
thing here, Janet. You want to have somebody who, if they start a war, they have to fight in it. So maybe they're a little more reticent to do it. Like, oh, I'll just send somebody else down my place. Like, no, if I start a war, I'm going to have to go here. Do I really want to do it?
Ask, is Leon Scott Kennedy 35 years old?
Let's see.
That's a great question. Leave that for the fact checkers.
Second
I mean, you
of
can
He
look
was
it up.
born
if you
in
want,
1977.
but he would be.
He's real. No, he's not 35 yet.
Is not, would that not be 30?
It would be 35. It'd be like 38, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Can I
77.
not math today? Am I just bad?
Yeah, come on, programmer. What the hell?
Something.
There's wonders why apps never work.
Programmers can't math. We all know this.
Okay, second
Yeah, he'd be
question.
38,
Can
so he'd
you,
be really young.
Don, can you prove to me, without a doubt, A, Nathan Drake does not have his residency in the United States, because he's just an adventurer. He might just be out adventuring. And B, can you prove to me that Leon has had his residency for 14 years? And C, not to get all Donald Trump on you, but was he actually born in the United States? I want to see a birth certificate, like right now.
Fact check, Nathan Drake, possibly born in 82, possibly not ready for presidency by legal standards yet.
Might be
Soon, though.
Regal Bryant's rich. He'll buy a birth certificate.
All right, I won't cut Regal Bryant out for a presidency. We're not necessarily saying United States necessarily, so
But why would you want to be president of anywhere else?
be president of the world. I don't know.
Then what the hell's the age thing matter in the first place? What have we been arguing?
It's just funny.
And second of all, vice presidency, Solly. Yeah.
He's definitely old enough.
I mean, if you had two presidents that were going to fight in a war and one was going to fight with his shirt off, who would you rather see, Leon or Drake?
Well, that's actually a great question, guys.
Yeah, 20 pack.
Who would be your vice president? Who would be his running mate? Logan?
Bill Clinton from NBA Jam.
And how does that work?
Well, I mean, okay. Bill Clinton was a secret character in NBA Jam. Clearly, you know, Regal Bryant is an athletic guy, okay? He likes to go to the Y, all right? And he met Bill smashing hoop, you know, taking it to the hoop like slam. But I mean, the man is clearly experienced, you know. He's likable. It would certainly help an already experienced and likable leader get elected. I mean, it's a double whammy.
All right, Don, who would be your vice president?
The narrator from Bastion.
Okay, and now, again, how would that work?
Dude, don't question it. It'd just be awesome. He'd just be there narrating everything. Imagine our country, every action narrated by that dude. People would stop hating us. They'd just be riveted by that guy's voice.
I think it would have the opposite effect after a while. Everybody would be like, why does this voice keep on narrating?
Why
This is annoying.
create a weapon that wiped out an entire race of people?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't do it. There was somebody else. He's just like caught up. He's an old soldier dude.
He was just the leader of the scientists that did it.
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was one of the.
Oh, he's just some old dude. He's just like, if this
Fact
is
check,
strange.
guys.
Hold on. Discover the Calamity. He created the rippling walls and the bastion.
So he created the place where everybody goes for safety and walls to keep people
That
safe.
was his name, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Thanks for
So,
Thanks for
I
the
mean,
assist there, Logan.
You know what? I think with that, Don, you win that round.
Fuck.
That was
I hate
actually...
this show.
this.
This is a stupid president and vice president.
I don't know exactly how it works, but you pulled that out. I think the whole creating the bastion and everything to save people, I think, finished it off. But also with Leon, you had that he was actually close to presidency and everything, and he is of age and everything. So
No, show me a birth certificate of the narrator. I wanna see
Well, he
that.
did invent a machine that like time travels, so he could probably like go back in time.
Have you played Bastion at all?
Me?
Yeah, I don't care.
No, I just don't know where this time travel machine came from.
Didn't you fix the Bastion and it like reverses all the time and shit? And you play Bastion?
The kid does. We're getting off topic here.
yeah, we're getting off topic.
Anyways, moving
Next
on.
question.
Next question. What game had the worst launch, start, whatever you want to call it? We're going to go with Logan on this. What game had the worst launch?
Oh fuck! Which one did I pick? Dead Island.
Alright, alright. Why Dead Island?
Well, when they launched it, it was actually the dev build that they launched, which certainly wouldn't help things. It was buggy. It was just an unoptimized piece of crap. You had open access to the cheats right out of the gate, which like made it so you could like walk through walls and that you were invincible. But the worst sin that Dead Island committed was actually in their marketing. They sold us an entirely different game than the one we got. Like, if anyone remembers the original like launch trailer that they did for Dead Island, like kind of this kind of poignant, like thoughtful, artistic, interesting kind of time-lapse trailer to where it was talking about maybe like kind of the human element of the zombie apocalypse. And then Dead Island actually came out, and we basically got Dead Rising on an island, and it wasn't even that good. Shame on you, game company.
All right, all right. Don, what had the worst launch?
GTA 5.
How so?
Mostly for the online aspect of it. There were a lot of things that they were promised and did not get till literally about a year and a half. Like Heist, for instance, took a year and a half to get to. There were glitches. Like, you couldn't get online. It wouldn't launch. Your character would be denied basic things. You can buy an apartment in the game. You wouldn't be able to access your apartment. Various other glitches and things just would screw the game up. And it was just an absolute clusterfuck. They promised things over and over and over again that took years, literally years to deliver. And glitches and problems persisted long afterwards. It was just that if it worked, that was sometimes the exception and not the rule.
All right. Nick, what you got for me?
Battlefield 4.
Oh, all right.
Battlefield 4 was utterly broken from front to back. We'd had games that were broken before in one aspect or another, but it was usually like kind of spotty. Like parts of it would work. It'd work on some people's systems, work on some consoles or whatnot. And a lot of times that they were launched broken, usually within like a couple weeks, like a patch would make it at least playable to a certain point. Battlefield was to the point where it was unplayable for like 6 months, like straight up. Like people cannot get online, people cannot play it, or if they did, they would immediately get kicked. That was the first game that really started this trend of like showing that game companies really didn't give a shit. They were just worried about getting stuff out on time so they could get their money grabbed. And I think that was something that really pushed, like you start seeing all these games like Arkham City come out where it's just like it's completely unusable. They'll let you spend $60 on it, but you effectively have nothing to show for it. And I think it caused a lot of backlash where like now in like Europe you're starting to see where you can actually get like returns on games on Steam. You can get returns on games and stuff. And I think like if we were to go back and look at it in the past couple of years, Battlefield 4 is the real one that really screwed the pooch for everybody, and everybody started getting everybody to think differently about like what state a game has to be in when it launches and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. That game was completely not acceptable and did not run for the longest time, and that should never happen.
All right. Logan apparently had a laptop die, so we'll move on from him to Don. What do you have to say against the other two?
Well, Battlefield 4, I never had a problem getting on. I played it on the PS4. I never had an issue with it. There wasn't any lag. I got on every single time. Game ran smooth for me. So I can't necessarily say anything about it being broken. I didn't understand when people said that. But again, GTA 5, there were entire features missing from the game. You also couldn't get online, and even when you would like switch over when they released it on next gen consoles, when you would switch your profile over from previous gen to current gen on the consoles, it was still also encounter problems. So even long after the game came out, and still to this day, there are still issues with the game. Also, simple things in matchmaking and multiplayer, like not being able to switch teams, having unbalanced teams. Other things like not being able to get into your car on a multiplayer match when like during a race, getting like a gray screen. These problems still persist, and the game's been out for what, like a year and a half, 2 years, and it just kind of seems like everything you get from Rockstar regarding GTA 5, it's always way too late and way too little. Also, EA, fuck EA. I know it works against me, but fuck EA.
Nick,
Every game EA releases, you're not going to be able to get online. At least for the first few months.
Well, we'll see how it is tomorrow.
Oh, with Battlefront?
Yeah.
But anything against what Don had said back to you?
to the point about the features, it's not like they launched a game and said we're gonna have all those features day one. They did say that they are coming later.
No, they said Heist would be day one.
Okay. I'm
Guys,
unaware. I wasn't that much of a fan of GTA's online anyways, so I wasn't like really paying attention to it. And the only thing I cared about was the single player. So for me, it worked day one. I didn't have any problems for it. And me being a PC player now and not really the console guy, I had always looked at it from the PC aspect. It sucked that it got delayed, but to give them credit when it came out on PC day one, at least the part that I cared about ran flawlessly and ran great. It did, like I've had a couple problems here and there, but that's mostly AMD. I wouldn't really blame it on the game. It's mostly like a driver issue. But other than that, like I can't say I've had any major issues with GTA. The biggest ones I've had is doing peer-to-peer hosting, which is always terrible, no matter what game you're on. So.
all right. You guys find anything?
Let's
Jesse?
see, Dead Island. As far as that trailer goes, I remember that trailer being really slow, really moving, and then the game being zero like the trailer. I don't
remember
know.
watching a grown man cry while watching that. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
All
Like,
right.
like it was going to be a game that I was like, man, maybe I'll get into zombie games, and lol, JK, no, I won't. As far
Anything
as
on GTA or Battlefield 4?
Battlefield 4, I remember those issues.
Jesse, we can't hear you if you're trying to talk to us.
Let's see here, Battlefield 4. Yeah, the
But what was it that-
unacceptable. This was only a year and a half ago, though.
For what?
Battlefield 4 stuff.
Year and a half ago? Yeah, that was about right when it came out, right? About a year and a half ago?
It was out roughly before Mantle came out, whenever that was.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you
Okay.
find, Jesse?
Alright, so I found that Battlefield 4 did require a netcode patch fairly soon after release. I'm trying to find if heists were actually supposed to be there from the beginning in GTA 5.
Wait, we got Logan back. Logan? There you are.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Alright, the only thing they talked shit about Dead Island on you was that the trailer kind of was misleading. But actually, that kind of helped you in your case, to be honest. But
That's,
Actually, I thought that
that
was
was my original point.
right.
Yeah, most of GTA's issues were definitely as far as playing online goes.
Nobody cares about online GTA.
I don't.
Nobody.
Yeah, but that's not really the question. The question is not whether people care about it. A lot of people
It's
did.
whether
Maybe
or not-
people here didn't.
Right.
You know,
That's true.
it's whether or
Well,
not
I think it kind of
proper.
is, isn't it? Because like, what are you gonna care about more? Like, if your game, if for the
Well,
most
no, I'm
part,
saying that a lot of
75%.
people did care about them. It's just people in this room didn't.
Right. Well,
Well, you know,
Besides
we're the
facts.
only ones that matter.
well, go ahead, Logan. What do you have to say since you've been out of this for a little bit? Go ahead.
I don't even know. I don't know. That whoever was arguing their argument was so boring it drained my battery life. That's my point.
Well, okay. So I mean, why is Dead Island worse than GTA or Battlefield 4? Why was it?
Well, the whole idea was that we've got like worst game launch, like just something that completely went dead in the water. And the thing is like Dead Island not only was a flop, but like the few people that trailer did manage to like trick into buying, like completely like kicked that dead horse. Like, you know, it was just it went lower than already kind of a low bar, and that just no, not my toes.
I think you're
dog.
going on the other end.
Yeah, and the toes. I totally agree with you.
They were rendered horribly. They're not even. They look like web. They weren't even realistic.
Like,
Completely took me out of the game.
I'm not judging this, but as far as I feel video game launches go.
Keep
A
in
lot
mind,
of
you're
it-
within flying distance of me.
Why don't you visit? I'll take you to delicious food.
Okay,
But,
go
uh,
ahead, finish that.
But like, I guess my overall thought is not whether or not the game was necessarily a letdown in terms of launch, so much as just unplayable. I mean, because there have been loads of letdowns that had
Yeah,
really successful
yeah.
launches, but no, no. Jesse disappeared.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyways,
Go
can I make
ahead,
a
guys.
point?
If you have any last arguments, feel
I
The
would
free.
say
last thing
that-
I want to say. The last thing
Okay.
I want to say. is
Nick, go ahead.
I feel like everybody gets GTA for the single player. It sells really well, but everybody gets it mainly for the single player. I feel like games like Battlefield, Call of Duty, those are basically for people to play with their friends online. Like, no, I've still not to this day played the single player on Battlefield. I've got a lot of friends that still have not played the single player in Battlefield and don't give a crap. So effectively, day one, that game was not playable. It didn't work.
All right. Don, last comments.
I'll say that I don't know if that really applies because people do get GTA 5 for their single player, but they also were really excited about the online. And there are still problems today with heist and bugs not being fixed. The Battlefield 4 pretty much got better over time. It got its fix within about a year time period. But GTA 5, it's still having issues with online.
How many people are still playing GTA 4 versus the Call of
Five.
Duty or Battlefield? No, 4. Because 4
Oh,
had
yeah.
online too, remember?
True.
How many people are still playing GTA 4 online versus...
Well, it doesn't matter because I said GTA 5, so whether or not people play
Okay.
GTA 4.
I'm using
But
that as an
I'm
example.
seeing his point. He's saying like people that care about the online. If they're still
Well-
playing 4, they're still playing 5 apparently. But actually, that would help. Actually, Don's case. Right? Is that what you're trying to get at, Nick? About the people playing?
No, I'm saying nobody cares about 4 anymore.
Oh,
Last
okay.
time I tried to play it with friends, nobody's online anymore.
Oh, okay.
Again, but we're not talking about GTA 4, we're talking about 5.
And I'm going to say nobody's going to care about 5 long before people stop caring about Battlefield 4.
Oh,
I don't know
Logan?
if we can count future
Alright.
seeing in here.
All right, guys. Logan, last point.
All right. Not only did Techland release a dev build of their game, it was just a mess. I'm pretty sure people lost their save files.
I
But
think I remember hearing
the
that.
crouton on that shit salad was it wasn't even the game that was marketed to them. It's the 1-2 punch of shit.
All right.
Terrible. Terrible.
Any last fact checks? I'm trying to decide this.
They did release a dev build in North America.
Okay.
opinion is that they did not release the game that was in the trailer.
Right, that's very true. I think I'm going to have to go with Nick on this one. Because, as you said, like, you had there was a lot of problems with Battlefield 4, and you're right, it kept going for a while online. With GTA, the problems with the online, well, I can't find anything on the heist thing. I thought I can remember the heist saying it wasn't day one, but did anybody find anything on the heist?
They did promise that there would be some, but they never said that they would be day one.
Okay, that's what I
They
thought. So
promised
yeah,
that there
definitely.
would be heists.
All right, I gotta go with Nick then. Battlefield 4.
And like Kane says, that's an unfortunate name, by the way, in my chat. The online is full of nothing but trolls and sadness.
Isn't that every online game, though?
That's kind of true.
I mean, you just described the internet.
Monster Hunter is amazing.
All right, we're not
Monster
arguing on
Hunter.
Monster Hunter, but it's
Aww.
a good game.
That's like saying there's hot sauce at Taco Bell. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Tastes like shoe polish.
Hey, Taco Bell is great.
I mean,
but that might just
No,
be because I'm
Taco
on a
Bell is
diet.
not great at all.
So I'm gonna try to do a terrible segue with this. So, Battlefield 4 is made on Frostbite, which is a great engine, but another great engine is the CryEngine. What is the best CryEngine game that was ever made? And we're going with Don first on this one. There, I segued.
Do we have to? I mean, no, I'm kidding. Far Cry. I'm gonna say Far Cry Instincts for the Xbox. It was essentially Far Cry, a really, really good first-person shooter, and it had the cool idea of giving you like kind of genetic engineering, giving you powers like a predator. You can run really quickly. You could, my personal favorite, claw people to death with your bare goddamn hands. You can throw them around. You can like track them like an animal. It was really, really, it was a good game. It was a solid shooter, especially coming from a PC, being a PC gamer now, going from PC to a console. Traveled pretty well. There weren't any issues. And the story was really good, too. There's some twists and turns. There was great adventure. It's kind of like playing a summer blockbuster movie. They were immensely fun, and I played the hell out of it, and I don't even like shooters. So, it's my... Go ahead.
All right, Nick, you're up next. What you got? Best CryEngine.
Gonna say Evolve.
All right, Evolve.
Basically, when I look at a CryEngine game, now here's my 2 cents. I don't really like a whole lot of games around CryEngine games. Sorry, there's just not a whole lot that I really like. Evolve was interesting that it had a 4v1, and there's not too many games that do that. It was an interesting dynamic, and it was, if you knew how to work as a group, if you knew how to be a monster, there's always going to be that person that wants to play with their friends or be in a team battle. And there's always going to be that person who wants to be on their own. And that was a weird kind of game that actually filled that gap for both those people. And as long as you knew what you were doing, you get by really well. Now you got some people like Don that aren't that good, and kind of drag the rest of the team down. But you know, yeah. And the game was just beautiful. I remember like when it would rain, you could see like the light come off of like your like lightning gun and stuff like that. It had some unfortunate like zapper effects that were done cheaply or whatnot, but everything about that game was really cool. The gameplay, the look of it, and the sound. Like being able to put your headphones on and actually be able to tell where the footsteps are coming from, of like stereo sound, was amazing to me. It was a really, really good game. I was really impressed with it, and I think I got basically shit on for no good reason.
Alrighty. Logan, what are you going with?
Have changed my game.
Okay, what are you going with?
This one has not been announced yet, but
Oh.
Monster
okay.
Hunter Online.
Okay. Good luck arguing it.
Fact check
Hold on.
right now, 90% chance that is not coming out in the West.
Hold
I
on.
don't care. I'm gonna pirate it and play
Hold
it
on.
on.
If we're going by that, I'd like to change my answer to Evolve 2.
No, you
Not out yet, but
We don't know if that's actually using CryEngine. He is correct. I know Monster Hunter Online is using CryEngine because I checked the other day. All right, Logan, go ahead.
Okay. Now the only thing I have to do to sell this game is to sell a Monster Hunter game, which fortunately I have played this. Okay. Monster Hunter is kind of like almost like a thinking man's multiplayer RPG.
I can't believe this actually is happening, to be honest.
Levels, you have gear, which you earn by fighting monsters. With
As a
Wait a
Monster
second,
Hunter
wait a second, in an
player, I'm
RPG.
going to stop him. Not that what he's saying is wrong, it is that
Okay.
regardless of the fact that this is going to be a wonderful thing that is everything I want in Monster Hunter, it's not out. We don't know how it will utilize
And you know what?
engine,
I can
nor
argue
if it will
as well
even
as any
come
of these
out
other
in the
games that I
United
have.
All right, Janet,
States.
let Logan go. All right, go ahead, Logan.
It's giving us Monster Hunter, which we want, and it's giving us Monster Hunter Online, which is the only thing we could possibly want more.
Also, fact check, I mean, Japan's had Monster Hunter Online in some fashion beyond just the handhelds for years.
Okay, well, cut me some slack here, okay? This is the closest thing to a CryEngine game I've actually played.
All right. Anything else to add, Logan?
Monster Hunter is dope. Monster Hunter is dope. Monster Hunter is dope.
All right. While they're arguing, might I recommend look up as much as you can about Monster Hunter Online right now.
As someone who has been following it,
I'm hoping that Gurren
He's
Lagann
not
just
wrong.
overtake them with passion. Like,
I mean, passion is something I go off of when I'm judging this, because a lot of these aren't exactly factual. So, but anyways, Don, what do you have to say to any of these?
Mine are always factual. My
Don
defining
is always
trait.
right.
I have
He
no
said-
emotions. I'm simply logical and rational.
You're
I-
Skynet.
Aside from the fact that I would rather headbutt broken glass than have to play a game of Evolve because I despise that game. The only reason I have it is Grant bought it for me, and if I could have, I would have sold it. So the balancing issues for one, the fact that all the best content you have to pay. Like, hey, usually in most games you get a character, it's like $2, $5. It's $15 for a new character in Evolve. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous, and it's not. It's really. I mean, the new characters are great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you're really only paying for what, 2 new abilities, 3 new abilities, because all classes share the same thing, and it's just a really dick thing to do. I mean, $15 for another character, not even new maps. You get like one new monster. The balancing issues after the fact now are just so bad. When the beta came out and when the game first came out, it was pretty balanced. I mean, teams could work together and do fairly well, but now it's like it's always either the monsters completely decimate the party or the party completely decimates the monsters. There's really no challenge to it anymore. There's no like back and forth tense battles. And yeah, and the fact that my rig can't run it on high, bullshit.
Quick.
Nick likes it. That in and of itself should be a bad thing.
You just suck at it.
I'm great at the fucking game. I love that.
Alright, so
Amazing.
All right, Janet,
I'm always the
what do you have
last
to
one
say?
alive. You remember?
Don, what was it, Janet?
quick
you're
fact
running away.
checks on the pain that is knowing about Monster Hunter Online. It does utilize CryEngine. It is meant to never be released outside of China. It has been in closed beta in some fashion since 2013.
All right,
And
all right.
So it has
It
been
is-
released.
it's been in closed beta, and I just think it's like Dota 2 where they're just never going to get out of beta. But
Dota 2 is out of beta now. It took forever. It took them like a year, but yeah.
but most of the CryEngine utilization has been, of course, graphical. It
Right.
is built
Graphics
solely
engine.
it is built solely for PC, so those are just Monster
Alright.
Hunter Online.
Okay.
Also,
of-
fun
of
fact:
pain.
Rick is playing something other than Dota 2 right now. So I just thought I'd announce that. I thought it might be newsworthy.
He's been playing City Skylines quite a bit. All right. Nick, rebuttals.
Yeah, so once again, Dawn is bad at Evolve.
That's not factually true at all.
You're pretty bad.
Oh, factual.
As far as like
Bullshit.
Generally,
as far as like the
Several
game goes,
times.
he says it's not balanced. I completely disagree.
Go get
Um,
stuck in the Manning plan again, nerd.
Okay, hold on a
Go ahead.
second.
By the way,
And there we go, mute. Anyways,
second before you go, I just want
So-
to let you guys know, Rick just said, "Fuck you, Don."
Oh, good, good. Yeah, that mute lasted. You know I can.
anyways,
Anyways, all right.
so like
Fucking
I was
nerd.
saying-
Can't beat Skynet, bitch.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
So like I was saying, where was I anyways? Oh yeah.
Leveling or not balance. My bad.
The leveling and balancing is not off because they added characters at all. There's just
Not what I
new
said.
They're fine. There was nothing wrong with the balancing in the first place. When we played it back when it was an alpha, you remember we got the keys from Sessler?
Mhm.
That was a very early on before the leveling system was in place. As we learned later on, when you first play it, of course you're going to suck because you're level 1. Once you get up to about like 20 or something, that's when it really started kicking in. It was the balancing really started getting good. It's like any other game with leveling in it. So once you put in the time, like you should anyways, you're going to be able to figure it out. But as far as like the new characters go, I think that's like an argument that's like that's their decision. You don't need to have it. It's like you still got a good game with your $60 at the end of the day playing whether you get the DLC or not. And you still kind of can have access to the characters if you come into a game with them chosen already or whatever's going on there. You do have an element to where you can kind of randomly get that character. And as far as like the other thing, like things that would normally break like an online game, like map packs, because now you're like splintering off your group of people to like a certain like sect that have like this certain like DLC or whatnot. That wasn't the case with this. They gave you the map packs, which is like a great idea in my opinion. Were the characters overpriced? I totally agree, but they're not needed. So, as far as this Monster Hunter thing, whatever. It's Monster Hunter. Who cares?
Hey.
Is there anything you have to say about Far Cry Instincts, Nick?
Sadly, never played it. As much as I love the Xbox. Far Cry is a good game, but I have no experience on that one. I was in the Army at the time, so it just deployed, and that one kind of passed me by.
All right. Logan, defend your Monster Hunter Online.
Look, the only thing we were missing with Monster Hunter was the ability to go online. Now we have that.
And the ability to play it in our country.
You can't play it. I'm resourceful.
Gonna learn enough Chinese.
Look,
all right.
We have a Japanese address. It can't be that hard to get a Chinese one, okay? Like, chill.
All right.
Don't I get a chance to defend myself?
Yeah, go for it, Don.
All right. Two things. One, actually, no, only one thing. I hurt you, Rick. That's it.
All right, guys. Is there any facts or anything you guys can add? And Janet, don't give me your love for Monster Hunter Online or Monster Hunter, please.
So good.
My love for Monster Hunter. I mean, the only facts are, well, yeah, that all those games are in CryEngine.
Pretty much.
It's literally, what kind of games are you into? Of the games released in CryEngine in like the last year or so, the only one I've played is Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. And as much as I enjoyed the overall experience, game is stretching it.
Okay, Jesse, you find anything?
I agree with Janet. They are definitely all in CryEngine.
All CryEngine. All right.
It's not like someone's
I'm
trying
also
to tell
very
me that
sad
Half-Life 2
that
is
Monster
great.
Hunter will be in.
Right. Okay. Logan, I'm knocking you out on this just because you're like Monster Hunter and it's online. So,
Look, clearly you are a Philistine heathen, and you can't be.
I mean, I can go get my Monster Hunter shirt.
Philistine.
Pronounce Philistine, nerd.
But I'm between. Okay, Don. The thing is, okay, I have one question to ask. Don, why exactly though? What makes Instinct such a great game? Give me a little bit more like over-evolved.
You can shoot people with a gun.
It's the only game I really played with CryEngine. I hated this question. I had nothing really for it. I don't really want to win.
All right. You know what? Fair enough. I'm giving it to Nick on this one.
I mean, a better question would have been, what game used Havoc physics the best?
Oh, well, there's a ton. I mean, we'll get to that eventually.
I'm glad you didn't have a week to tell him that.
Yeah. Anyways, so good. But anyways, yeah. So Nick, I think you defended it all everything pretty well, even all the balancing and everything. But yeah, so that's the main reason. You described it really well.
And insulting people's fun.
Yeah, and I won't bring up the fact that you can navigate it.
Points for that, but you know, it's fine.
And I won't bring up the fact that you can use a map in Warframe, because that would be a low blow.
Yeah. Anyways, so
I must say, Warframe's a better game than Destiny, so I agree with you there.
yeah, it is. All right.
Again, not at all what I said, but okay.
Well, that's we just agree on that.
I just asked you what time it is. You said the Berlin Wall fell in the 90s. That's pretty much.
All right, guys. What has the worst cover art? There's tons out there that have really bad, but what is the worst? And let's see, Don, you went first last, right?
I think so.
Yep. So Nick, it's your
And
turn.
I don't really want to talk to you, so.
Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
All right. Well, apparently I need to drag this over to the first monitor to be able to screen share. So give me
Oh boy. Wait for this. That'll be good. What is it?
Fuck, how do you screen share? Alright. There we go. Mega Man. What the hell is that? That is not the game that I played.
Yeah, but I mean, well, it's not terrible.
That is
What?
the
What?
box
That's not-
art I actually remember
It's
either.
not.
Is
That
that?
looks... Is that like... Okay, let's go see. Maybe I got it wrong.
I mean, it
Yeah.
says
I
Mega
remember
Man,
it being
but
terrible.
yeah, I remember it being worse.
Yeah, this.
Go ahead, Jesse, if you can screen share if you found it.
Let me see.
Okay, there it
I
is.
might have to
Okay.
My
drag it.
bad.
You
I went to
find it?
Wikipedia. Don't listen to Wikipedia. Jeez.
Yeah, that's like the
Yeah,
corrected.
that one. That's the
Yeah,
original one that I meant remember.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, go ahead,
That's
defend
the
it.
goods.
Or yeah, talk about it, Nick.
I don't know. It looks like shit.
It does.
Which one is the shitty?
Describe it. Why does it look like shit? Give me your artistic expertise.
It looks like Mega Man in Candyland with a gold pimp suit. I don't know.
Oh, is that bad though? I don't know. I'm kidding.
You know, there is a certain like charm to its terribleness, but still, it's pretty fucking terrible. That's not Mega Man. Actually, why did they shoot another one? Is that like a Japanese cover art? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, there is different art for the different ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because that one looks pretty
Because
rad.
that, yeah, I
That one
think
does
the other
look pretty fucking rad, to be
Yeah,
honest with you. I was like,
Yeah, I think the other one is the Japanese because I remember it being the American version was the crappy one.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I just pulled this out of my ass. I remember
Aren't
this
the
being
American
terrible.
ones usually the crappy ones?
Usually.
Yeah. But all right,
I
anything
mean,
else
they,
to
they
add to
give
that? Nick,
Kirby
besides?
angry eyebrows.
All right,
No, not really. I hope somebody's
Alright.
got something.
Logan, what you got?
I pick the North American box art for Ico.
All right, can you someone find that if you haven't already? You have it up, Logan? Yeah, you.
What's up? Ico.
Like, I don't have a physical copy of the PS2 version of Ico, or else I'd just go grab it.
Actually, I do.
Uh-oh.
You'll give me a second.
All right. Well, go ahead. Describe why it's so bad, Logan.
Well, this one isn't necessarily bad on its own merits. It's mostly bad when you kind of juxtapose it with its original box art. Like, they had
There you
box
go.
art kind of hinted at the tone and the mechanics, and it also kind of had like this artistic feel. And then, you know, they switched out to where it's like, okay, let's give our horn boy a sword to pander to those dumbass North Americans because they have to feel awesome to play games.
Okay, so the one on the left is North American?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the one on the left is North American.
The one
And
with the
minimalist-
silver.
Okay.
On the right is the Japanese.
All right.
I think they also, if I remember right, they also used the Japanese cover art for the European version.
Yes, I believe they did.
Oh, God damn.
All right. Anything else to add to that, Logan?
No, that's the one. It's crap.
All right.
All right.
The Mega Man one was really bad. I don't really know if I can beat that.
Don, what do you got?
There is a game called Ghost House. The cover art is a man holding a picture, holding the cartridge. That's what the cover art is. It's a guy holding the cartridge.
Ghost House?
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Let me see if I can
Yes.
find it.
Oh, Janet,
Jen,
can you
got
bring
it.
that up?
The Sega card.
Yeah,
Um,
it's literally just a guy like, oh hey, cover art, and you see a hand. That's it right there. That's the cover art.
This is the cover art.
That I mean, that was like good enough. That's like it was Friday at 4:50.
Okay.
Friday afternoon at 4:50. Like,
And he
dude,
probably
I just
didn't
wanna
even
get
have
out
the
of here.
luxury. He probably
It's
didn't
not
even have the
centered.
luxury of Photoshop.
The hell.
That is like Inception of some weird sort.
My OCD is just fucking burning me. It's off kilter. Why? Why?
Clearly, you don't get it.
Clearly, I'm gonna burn your face off.
Anything else to add to it, Don?
I mean, I mean, look at it. It's like graph paper. It's like school graph paper in the background. What the shit? On both of them, on the cartridge and the actual picture of the cartridge. I mean, look at that. It's so fucking lazy. It's not even box art. That's like a really weird picture that somebody took with their cell phone. Like, oh, I just got my cell phone. See if the camera works. And then they take a picture of that.
All
Not even
right.
box art. It's not even drawn.
All right, Nick, what do you have to defend yourself?
I would say that like Ghost House, I agree, but the problem is that a lot of the card games were like that, where they just had a guy holding the card like that. This is for the Sega Master System.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
There were some that were not that way. Like I think,
This was a genre.
yeah. So this was like an actual thing. Let me see if I can screen share this. If I can get
God,
the actual.
apparently, so was the graph paper.
Yeah, you are correct. That is the thing for all the card games. I'm looking at a
So-
bunch of them right now. Yeah.
There's a lot of terrible ones, just not one.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Holy
Share.
crap.
There we go.
Yeah, there they all are.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of them.
Yeah. So they
oh,
have
hang
a bunch
on.
of them.
All right.
Yeah, hang on. They didn't even get like a bike except on the cart. But
Okay, but just because a lot of them doesn't make it okay.
well, we were just talking
There's a
about
lot of
those things.
Nazis. That doesn't make them okay.
I will explain it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot that don't like that.
No,
I mean,
you're right.
just like,
But I would argue the thing is the Mega Man one is unique to where yours is not. There's many out
But
there like
somebody
it that
put
are
effort
hideous.
into that. Somebody put effort into the Mega Man. Somebody drew it.
It
That's
looks
just-
like nobody
that's
put
not
effort
even-
into it.
I mean, look at that fucking thing. That's just so lazy.
Obviously, the person that made the Mega Man art in North America did not play the game at all. These guys are like, we're not even gonna bother with that. We're just gonna hold the card up and like be like, here you go. Here's the card.
All right, question for Don, really quick. Are there bats in Ghost House?
It's fucking fine though. I'm not even sure there's Ghost House in there. I mean, let's be honest.
So this might not even be a ghost house. It might just be a bat house, and there might not even be bats. It might just be a house.
Yeah, which makes it even worse.
Ah,
False
good.
advertising.
Okay. So, all right, Logan, what do you got to say about all this?
Well, the whole point of Ico is that you're running around holding hands with some princess chick, and they managed to get that into the original like concept of the game. Like if you look at the box art, you've got a really lonely kind of oddly mesmerizing forlorn landscape and two people holding hands. That's the game. If that's what you want, buy this game. I'm looking at the North American Ico, and it looks like maybe it's an RPG. I'm supposed to be. Is that supposed to be a sword or a stick?
Next
I
one.
think it looks
I
more like a
think-
sword.
I think it's a stick. So
Looks
like
like a
maybe
really
It's the stick.
and windmills are a big deal for some reason. And there's like a ghost lady in the background, like she doesn't even matter. Like
There's a windmill on the other version of the cover art as well.
Yeah.
Except that's more a image like of the background versus at least in the North American art. It's just kind of like weirdly photoshopped into the background.
I don't
It's
like.
like
I don't like
Janet, you're not
Yeah.
arguing.
I know. Why did you don't make me do this?
She's the worst moderator ever.
I'm the worst moderator ever.
All right.
You
Anything
guys
else,
just
Logan?
this over there, like whatever. I look like Dan
Yeah.
Reichert.
For Uncharted 2. Check that out if you guys want a little like treat.
All right. Don, any last comments on that? Or rebuttals?
awesome.
I mean, really, it speaks for itself there. And you can't really say, like, oh, well, they're all supposed to be like that. That doesn't make it any less terrible. I mean, it's still pretty fucking awful. I mean, the Ico thing, yeah, okay, it might have been a bit misleading, but, you know, it didn't give away, you know, it didn't give up the ghost. I mean, you don't know what it's about. It's like there's an intrigue there. It's like a teaser.
Okay.
And as far as the Mega Man thing goes, this is the 80s. I mean, that's pretty good for the 80s. Let's be honest here. I mean, 80s Japan, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good.
Obviously, you weren't very conscious then. That wasn't good.
I wouldn't. Let's be honest. I wasn't really alive during the 80s, but still,
And the Japanese went at a
in a land of like,
cover.
I mean, you look at 80s fashion. It's not too bad.
Pretty
That's
vibrant
actually pretty.
style.
It's actually
So.
I
pretty.
remember
tame.
with the 2600, the cover art was so awesome for games that like when I would just see the squares on the screen going across, I would just fill it in with the cover art on over top of it. To be like, these graphics are terrible, but fuck it, the cover art's cool, so it fills in all the blanks.
But yeah, again, the Ghost House thing. I was looking at the screenshots. I saw no bats.
All right, guys.
Graph paper. There's no math.
Well, to be fair, the Genesis cards were a budget thing. I think they were only like $20-$30 or something like
Oh,
that.
the Master
cartridges.
cards.
Yeah.
But why don't they just have the picture, like the bats on the front of the cartridge? Why do they have a hand holding up the cartridge? That
Well,
makes
would you rather get the
like an
game
extra
chip, or would
mile
you
of
rather have a
awful.
good picture?
At least you'd
It's
have
cost
bats.
money.
The Ghost House. Oh, bats, creepy. Like you look at the cartridge, like, oh, there's a dude's hand. He needs a manicure. I mean, it's like there's nothing. You know,
I thought you had
you're
beautiful.
distracted from the game. Like, man, that dude really needs to take care of his nails. I mean, you're not focused on the game. You're lost in it.
I'm so happy that this is the tournament because it's just all out war.
You look at Ico, big. It's a
Yeah.
nice wood.
It is a nice picture, and the character looks like the character in the game. So
Nice wood, horny. We're good to go.
All right, guys. I'm gonna need closing statements from you. Nick, go ahead first.
Ico, the character looks like the character. The other one, they're budget games. They didn't have enough money to do cover art. And yeah, this one's ridiculous. I don't know what I don't know if that's like Jello on the ground or what's going on there. It's a weird color.
All
But anyways,
right,
I tried.
Logan, closing statement.
Ugh.
What?
I might be throwing mine in with the Mega Man cover art.
All right, Don, closing statement.
I still heart you, Rick.
Any last facts for me?
I mean,
Yes, I'm much
that's
smarter
the
than you are.
cover art.
Mega Man 1 through 4 and then 9 and 10 all have terrible cover art, so just letting you know.
I have to give it to Nick with this. Mega Man, it is so bad.
That's 3 in a row out of 5, right?
Huh?
That's 3 in a row out of 5.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Nick can win, and the best Logan can do is timing. So
You could. No, you
Yeah.
could tie,
can I go home?
Don. Yeah. If you win the next two, Don, you can tie.
Oh, there's 2 more. Fuck.
No, it's out of 6, my bad. Not 5. But so that leaves. What does that leave? Oh yes,
Underrated PS1
underrated
game.
PS1 game. So Logan, go ahead.
Wouldn't that be Nick though? Didn't Logan go first? No, never mind.
No, Nick went first last time.
I don't really know how highly rated this game is. So there's one that I played back in the day. The first Digimon World game, I think, was really, really interesting. Like the
What was that? Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, what was it?
The
Digimon?
Digimon World.
Oh, okay.
First
Digital monsters?
Yep.
Okay, go
For the
ahead. Explain.
Well, I've played a lot of pet monster games, and most of them tend to sort of either fall into like Pokemon ripoffs, which, I mean, frankly, like, if that's something I wanted to play, I would probably still be playing Pokemon Red. And Digimon World could have easily just, kept ripping off Pokemon and, we would have been done. But they actually, they created some really kind of an interesting way that you sort of interact with your Digimon. Now, an annoyance is you only got one of them. But at the same time, you also kind of cared a little bit more about the Digimon you had, and you could train your Digimon by making him push boulders. And that's how your Digimon would get stronger. And you didn't have direct control over it. So like usually like they kind of have the theme of like how raising the creature is the big deal. And Digimon World is really the only pet monster game outside of like one of the way later Monster Rancher games that actually managed to like have mechanics that sort of delivered on that concept. And it was something that I've never really seen done in any other type of game. Like not even in the later Digimon games. I'll elaborate more on it later.
All right. Don, what you got?
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, #1.
Okay.
The game had an amazing narrative, amazing voice acting. The gameplay the combat was pretty smooth. The platforming was nice. Puzzles were engaging and difficult. It had this great overarching mythology that tied in very well with the previous iterations and future iterations of the game. I had a really
okay, you said Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, right?
one,
Yeah.
yeah, the first one.
Was that game underrated?
Let's make it sure.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance were on PlayStation 2, so they don't. That's
Right.
not the one that's.
Gotcha. Okay.
It did get good reviews, but overall, in terms of fan, kind of overall, fan popularity, I mean, it's kind of one of those cult classic games. It's got a very small following.
That may have just been my area type of thing, because I know tons of, like, growing up, people were always like, oh, you gotta play Soul Reaver, it's so awesome. I love
You got
playing
weird sounding
that."
friends, dude.
But
They smoke. You tell them to stop smoking.
All right, look,
Yeah.
go ahead. Keep going, Don.
yeah.
It was. I haven't seen the game since that game really that had that great a story, those complex of characters, and that great voice acting. Really.
Ooh, that's a big claim there.
That's it.
All right,
Unfortunately, the
Nick.
studio went under, but
No, they didn't.
well, the studio that worked on Defiance or whatever, because that's why they never made anything past Defiance.
Well, the one you're talking about is Crystal Dynamics, which, of course, as we all know, makes Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
They're
I was
making
gonna
new
say,
fucking
this-
Legacy of Kain. What the hell are they doing?
Well, they're owned by Square Enix now, so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that Square Enix doesn't make any good games anymore. That's correct. That's right. I'm sorry.
Ouch. All right, Nick, go ahead.
Quick question.
What?
Does the game have to be made in U.S.?
No.
Bib Ribbon.
Oh, Vib Ribbon. Really?
Yeah, so it was a little musical game, I guess rhythm game is what you would call it. And it almost looked like vector graphics. It was just simple, like little drawn rabbit on a line. And you had little peaks and valleys that you would hit with like the button presses and like little loop-de-doops and stuff. And the soundtrack on it was actually pretty damn cool. And not a whole lot of people played it, especially not here in the U.S. until maybe recently. I know they just released it on whatever PlayStation calls their classics thing. Whatever, you can get it. I think it's on. I don't know if you can get it on PS4. I think you can get it on PS3, and I'm not sure about Vita. But yeah, if you haven't played it before, it's a great game. It's pretty cool.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Quick fact checks. Digimon World available on Amazon for $400.
Damn.
Averaged. Let's see here. GameSpot gave it a 5.1 out of 10. IGN gave it a 5.8 out of 10. It sold approximately 250,000 copies in Japan, but made it to the greatest hits level in North America and the platinum range in Europe. So that makes it what, million copy seller?
Legacy of Kain sold 1.5 mil by 2001, so that's what?
2 years after it came out.
Legacy of
Yeah.
Kain also available on Steam right now for $7.
Okay.
Oh really? Fuck. Hold on for a second.
For $20, you can buy the Legacy of Kain collection. Includes Blood Omen 2, Defiance, Soul Reaver, and Soul Reaver 2.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
All right, Vib Ribbon. I know it's been out for approximately a year. It is on the PS3 and the Vita. I think it's under $10 if that's a thing you want to look into. Original version never had a proper release in the US.
Yeah.
Oh, originally an advertisement for a Mercedes-Benz A-Class car.
What?
Wow. Also, the
Fucking
weird
weird.
thing about Vib Ribbon is that's the game that like Sean Layden talked about. Then he realized that it never actually came out in America, so he rectified that.
Hmm.
But anyways, all right, go ahead, Logan.
Well, I mean, we're arguing for an underrated game. Legacy of Kain was very highly rated.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not worth $400 on Amazon though.
Digimon World is clearly worth the price, and the raters rated it way too low, making it the most underrated game on this list. I have no idea what Vib Ribbon was rated.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Just
you're
out of
doing
curiosity, where do you live? Where are you right now, Logan? Just message me privately.
I'm in my house.
All right, Don, what do you have to say?
I still heart you, Rick.
Where are your rebuttals, though, Don?
Oh, I mean, you don't hear much about Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on any list. You don't hear it in any of the underrated. You never hear people talk about it all that much. I guess it's pretty much on par with the other three, but I mean, you just don't. Nobody ever really gives it what it deserves. Nobody talks about it. Nobody comments on its legacy. It seems to just, in the minds of people outside of its fans, it seems to just not exist. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind, really. I mean, how many times have you thought about it before I brought it up and just now?
Never played it.
Last
Yeah.
month.
I have a friend that is a huge Legacy of Kain fan, so she posts something about it like once a
Is
week.
she single?
No, she's been married for like a
Oh, I
decade.
can change that.
All right. Any last things to add in there, Don?
Yeah, I'm much smarter than you are. I don't know if you heard me say that beforehand, but
Yeah, I did.
okay.
Yeah. All right, Nick.
Oh, I should have picked Parappa the Rapper.
It's also a good
Actually,
game.
that's a wildly popular game.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I
Nick.
have not
So is
played.
Legacy of Kain. Well, apparently
All right, guys. Then Nick talk.
Have not played Digimon, so can't really speak to it. Just have to kind of trust Logan's opinion there, you know. As far as like you guys said, like ratings, reviewers didn't seem to like really dig it for whatever reason. But Vib Ribbon is interesting in that it's very simple. Like, what's a word term you would say? Like easy to understand, difficult to master. And the greatest thing about it on PS1, unfortunately, as far as I know, the downloadable titles do not allow, or maybe I think the PlayStation 3 does, the Vita doesn't, because obviously it doesn't have a disc drive. Once you're done with the tracks, I think it had 6 tracks on there. Once you're done with those tracks, you can actually get any CD, put it in the system, and it will generate like a whole new row for you or ribbon for you. So. You know, it's kind of interesting seeing that there's like people that had like this kind of cult underground saying it needs to come to America, it needs to come to America, and they finally got their wish last year in the downloadable space. So, as far as the other games go, Digimon, like I said, I can't say anything. Legacy of Kain, I kind of have to agree with them. I had people who were playing that game like crazy when I was in high school. I wouldn't say it was underrated. It's still a great game, but it did get its time in the sun.
All right. All right. So basically, the way I'm feeling on it, right now I'm between Logan and Nick. on this one. I think, Don, they knocked you out with it. Is actually really highly rated. I was looking at the ratings for
I think I knocked myself out with being unable to remember any of the PS1 game I played.
So, I mean, it got
It
like
may have been a factor in my choice.
it is really loved. It's a beloved game.
I
But
did find that Vib Ribbon does have a 7 out of 10 on GameSpot.
okay, it's a
Just
7.
thought I'd go ahead and I mean,
All right.
it's a pretty decent
So
rating.
I need a closing statement from. We'll go with Logan first. Why Digimon over Vib Ribbon? Vib Ribbon.
I think it just came out in a time when it wouldn't have been appreciated. Like, the way that you were, like, it kind of exemplified what a Pet Monster game could and should be. And people just, or I guess specifically the critics, apparently it's worth $400, but that might just be a rarity issue. And it was just something that I think you might need a special type of mindset to appreciate, and I think it was really underrated.
All right, Nick. Closing statement.
My thing is with the game is I could give it to any gamer and they could pick it up right off the bat. Like I said, easy to understand, difficult to master. Where like you're a rabbit on a line in different shapes and whatnot form. And when you do it, you have to hit a certain button to correspond to that within the beat of the music. That's something that I can explain to people right away. Where with Digimon, I feel like you try to explain that to a lot of people, they're not going to understand it. Maybe that's why reviewers didn't get it, but you know, so.
And it looks like you could actually put your own music into the rhythm, and it would generate tracks.
That's what he just said, and
I did
yeah.
see that.
Okay. I wasn't paying attention. I was busy doing research on Digimon World.
You know what?
Busy looking up ways to sell blood to buy Digimon.
Nah, I'm gonna like get a ROM or something and play it on my
A
laptop.
kidney does cost like $3,500 in the black market. Please don't ask me how I know this.
Wait, what does?
A kidney.
Okay.
I am gonna,
That's
because
low.
this is a debate, I am gonna have to ask you how you know that.
Excellent. All right, you know what, Don? Since out of these two, which one would you go with? Because I'm having a hard time here. I'm gonna call on you.
Fuck. I don't like either one of them. Not the arguments of people.
I
mean, if I
about
get-
the games.
If I
About the
give a
arguments.
point to Janet, I would. I'd probably go with Logan.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna do it, and just because you brought up a good point with the Janet thing. Janet brought up the whole like worth of it online on Amazon.
I'm pretty sure an honest to God copy of Vib Ribbon is probably more than a kidney.
It might be, but all right. Give
Oh,
it to Logan. Logan, you win this one.
$18 $20 US.
Rarity might be a factor in that. I think Monster Hunter 3 is like around, or not.
God damn it with the Monster Hunter already.
We can't
All right.
stop.
So to be honest, the way this has worked out, it is 1 Logan, 1 Don, and 3 Nick. There's only one last question left. So Nick, you have won this. So
we go now?
congratulations.
If I wasn't actually holding the button for the show, I'd just go.
But well, do you guys want to go with the last question? You want to see the last question? Want to
What
do
is
it?
the last question?
The last question is game with the craziest message. And Don, you have the go for first if you want to argue it.
Well, you despise all logic and reason, so I don't know why, but okay, I'll go with it.
I chose the one you wanted, and yeah, I have no logic and reason.
I chose the craziest message of The Last of Us because it's a really powerful message. The fact that you could care for somebody so much that you would let the world die of a horrifying parasite, that you would knowingly condemn the world to that fate because of how much you care for one person. I think it's a powerful message. I also think it's really interesting. I also think that in his position, I would do the same thing. I would, as shitty as it sounds, I wouldn't put her through that. I wouldn't deprive her of her future. I wouldn't let them dissect her and essentially use her as a tool. I know it's kind of the thing, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, but it was a hard decision to make. You really felt that through Troy Baker's performance, and I think it was, you know, I think there was, as dark as the decision was, I think there was some hope in that decision, and when you find that in that world, I think it's very rare and very poignant, and it also kind of brings the character of Joel back from the brink. But that was a game that most games I'm kind of, I see the ending, I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's anything after the credits is usually my first thought. That game had me thinking about the ending for a long time, and actually I played the game over again just so I could experience that ending. But it's mine.
All right. Nick, craziest message. What game?
Far Cry Blood Dragon.
All right.
It doesn't matter if you're a cybernetic organism or a person or half blood dragon. If your heart's pure, you'll prevail at the end of the day with the help of a blood dragon with an arcade cabinet on the back of it.
Something about lasers. Give me something about lasers.
Lasers are cool too.
All right, Logan.
I think we're gonna go. I'm gonna go crazy with like kind of a subliminal message, and then the message of this game is fucked up. And I'm going with Legend of Zelda, and that is the message of this game is that blonde-haired, blue-eyed people are all pretty much sacred heroes, and brown-skinned people are thieving pigs inside. That's fucked up.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So much for this
That's
video on
fucked up.
YouTube.
I'm so glad we stayed.
All right. Anything else to add, Logan?
That's the most messed up message ever. I don't know how Miyamoto sleeps at night.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don.
How's your girlfriend Anita doing? Is that like
Who?
Anita Sarkeesian? How's your girl Anita Sarkeesian? Yeah.
Like YouTube?
You're like the male Anita Sarkeesian right now. Just taking the shit out of the air and throwing it at us and passing it off as wisdom. You should be ashamed of yourself.
There's a lot of makeup for a feminist.
You're not lying on that. Don, rebuttals to all that?
I mean, the weakness of their arguments really just reinforces mine. But no, honestly, you know, it is kind of, again, all logic dictates that you should sacrifice her to save the world. I mean, to get rid of the cordyceps, that in of itself should be enough, you know, to save the, you know, other children, to save other people. But the fact that he goes against all of that and makes that decision, pretty fucking crazy. No one would say that that was the right decision on paper.
So,
you know, if you're logically
You
thinking about it.
realize, hold on, before I want to get a clarification. So basically, you're saying that the whole message was the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many.
I think the whole message is that it's more important to, even in this, it's more important to maintain sort of some integrity, some sort of, you know,
Humanity.
yeah. It's almost kind of like you are sacrificing humanity to save humanity. You're kind of smiting the body to save the soul.
As an aside to what Don's talking about in the ending of The Last of Us, I am a person who actually just about stopped playing when I got to the hospital finale. I damn near turned the game off because I was so upset with what the game decided was going to be the arc of the game.
Okay.
Many people I know that have kids who have played that game have personally said, as a parent, I could not imagine making a choice any other than what he made in that game. I think a lot of how you approach the ending of that game, that the overall message of, in the face of a zombie apocalypse, you should not lose your humanity in the hopes of saving it. It's very...
I like how Janet's arguing for you, by the way, Don.
Also,
I'm
just
the
the kind
worst.
also, You stab a guy in the dick. That's always funny.
You stabbed a guy in the dick. But a lot of it, like how you approach the overall message to that game and whether or not you liked the message and agreed with it, seems to weigh heavily on how you feel about other people, especially if you're a parent. The message of Zelda that brown people are bad is the same message that was in that one Resident Evil game where all you did was shoot like people in Africa.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Alright, okay. We're stopping there on Janet.
Yeah, it's so weird. There's Africans in Africa. That's weird.
Shoot them all.
Some of them were wearing grass skirts.
So they're Hawaiian? I'm sorry, Polynesian. Anyways, go ahead, Nick. What do you have to say? Janet, shush.
Blood Dragon is a game with many different layers of messages. Like, cybernetic organisms need love too, as we saw in the love scene. And,
What's messed up about that? What's crazy about that, man?
I don't think the thing was what was
That's
messed
the
up
same
about the message.
It
Just
just has to be crazy.
yeah, it's a
Why is
crazy
it crazy?
message. Because it's about cybernetic organisms.
Love ain't
having
crazy,
sex.
man.
And dragons with eyes that shoot lasers. I honestly don't know. I just really like that game.
Alright. Logan? What do you gotta say?
I don't know anything about Last of Us. I'm going to assume that there is a zombie apocalypse.
You know what happens when you assume, don't you?
Keep someone alive.
You enrage me and I murder you.
It's really a mushroom apocalypse. But
A mushroom apocalypse
It's a fungus.
down there.
And it's Among Us.
And what else, Logan?
What's the actual message of Last of Us, though? Like, what is?
We've been saying it for the last 5 minutes.
incredibly, he's done the best job explaining this. I'm just like, I like lasers.
Yeah,
Well,
Don's
yeah,
like
it's a
really.
good message.
Don is really in depth. Yeah, explaining. Nick is just. Yeah, cybernetics.
It goes.
Cool.
I guess to answer your question, Logan, it goes to that same question. You know, the old kind of hypothetical: would you kill a child to save the world? You know, it's kind of like one of those things. It's a hard decision to make, and everything, you know, logic would dictate. Yeah, I mean, it's one.
Now, would you kill?
Versus,
Okay, would you kill a child to save a world? Yeah, fuck it, I'll kill a child to save the world. Would I kill my child to save the world? That's the thing. Like, is that the actual message?
That's more or less the actual message. You kind of like
Okay.
sort of adopt
Technically
the girl and
speaking,
you don't really
yeah,
feel attached.
she's not actually his daughter
Oh, yeah, she's.
by
Like,
blood,
is-
but I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Is it like a stand-in for a dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stand
Chicken,
in.
walk
That's a great way to put it, Logan.
I feel like we should just go ahead and end this. We already know where this is going.
Yeah,
Come on, just end it. Just pull the trigger.
Just give Nick the
on
point.
Some
We know you're going
person.
to. He said
Well, the thing is-
lasers. Your eyes got all wide.
You know what? Just because I'm gonna be a dick on this one and just give it to fucking Logan. That is messed up.
Zelda's racist as fuck.
And no one argued against you.
Because his
How
argument's so
Miyamoto-
goddamn ridiculous. It's a
the
strong
question on how Miyamoto sleeps at night dealing with that is Japan super hates any foreigner that isn't a blonde white male, preferably with me.
Also, Logan, he's repeatedly said that Legend of Zelda was inspired by his romps to the woods in his childhood home. So you're saying that his childhood is bullshit. You're completely discounting a man's childhood. How can you sleep at night? How can you lay your head down on that pillow?
Was, subjugating the racially inferior, then yeah.
Miyamoto, fuck your childhood. Fuck it.
Alright, guys. Well, thank you guys for all joining. Congratulations again to Nick for winning. So, again, everyone who is watching, we'll be back again next week with our next contestant.
I don't have to participate in
Wow.
that, do I?
No, you
No,
do
you
not.
do not.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so fucking
Nick,
happy.
you can be fact checker if you want to do it. It'll be me, Jesse, and Steve. So Jesse, you will be back. So that'll be next week. And again, thank you, Don, Logan, Nick, for
Quick
contending.
question.
What?
Did we confirm the name for next week?
Oh, it'll be the Hyper Tournament Edition.
Yes.
will be our next week's thing.
So play the tournament.
I mean, when do we
Yep.
get to use Championship Edition? I don't know if you guys know this. I happen to have like a crazy Evo.
This has been,
branded
trust
fan.
me, this has been discussed.
We have discussed this in hyper detail. Anyway, again, everyone, thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, you can follow me at Lemon Merchant 1, Nick at Cell Processing, Jesse, his website, Jesse C. It's just Jesse C, right?
Yeah,
.com.
jessec.com.
At Anarchy Marie for Janet. God damn
Don't
it.
do that. I'm really
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Is, but you can follow her. She can be a hoot at times. And then Don, our most elusive of all of us. I can't tell you where he's at.
You don't ever fucking follow me. I
You
follow
will never. You will never follow him. You will never find him. So, all right,
He's
everyone.
not a good person in general, not very good at Evolve.
And
really
on that
great at punching
bombshell,
dudes in the face, though.
good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
so keep that in mind, Nick.
Bye, everyone.